Hello everyone, I'm Emma Rabbit and this class is part flow and part restore. That means in the beginning of class we're going to be spending time building heat, we'll do some stretching, and then we'll chill out in some restorative poses afterwards. So the things you'll want for today's class are a firm ball, 2 blankets or towels, a long strap, necktie, scarf, 2 blocks or hardback books, and something for constructive rest. So that could be a stack of bolsters or pillows, it could be the seat of a chair or a couch you can throw your legs up into. So you can hit pause and take a moment to collect your materials. And then we'll start by rolling your feet with your ball. I like to start most of my practices rolling my feet because it is a way to release some of the fascia that runs along your back body. It actually goes all the way up around to your brow line. So using your ball under one foot with slow, consistent pressure throughout the entire triangle of your foot. As you start this, you might begin to notice how your balance feels today. If standing doesn't feel good for any reason, can also do this seated. Slow, consistent pressure underneath each toe, the outside of your foot. Just take your time. Another moment or two. Then we'll switch sides. And now maybe you notice your balance feels different on this side. You can always take a seat. Your foot might feel different. You might feel sensation in a different place. Slowly going around the entire bottom of your foot. Another moment or two. Then can place your ball to the side. Come to stand with your feet about hip distance apart or a little wider. Rock up onto your toes and then back onto your heels. And find a place where your weight can balance, centered in the middle. Tuck your tailbone and shrug your shoulders up toward your ears. Open your palms away from you. Bring your ears over your shoulders. And take a big breath in through your nose. And exhale through your mouth. 3 more like that. Now this time we'll breathe in through the nose and exhale through the nose. Can stay here with these belly breaths, or after your next inhale, belly full, can move your air to your lungs so your ribs expand to the side. And exhale through the nose. Then your next inhale, belly full, ribs expanded, can bring the breath to the chest. And then try and exhale chest first, and then ribs, and then belly. So we'll inhale through the nose, belly, ribs, and chest. Exhale through the nose, chest, ribs, and belly. I can't always do it, but it's fun to try. Whichever breath you chose, start to feel the energy of your inhale move from the base of your spine to the back of your throat. 2 more breaths. You can release your mountain. Maybe your ankles need some love, or your shoulders. You can come to stand at the top of your mat with feet about hip distance apart. I want to make sure y'all can see this. Get my props out of the way. We're going to do a sun salutation 4 times. Might be a little different from one you're used to. Just pick one that you like. We're going to use our breath. So this first round, we're going to inhale for 4 and exhale for 4, repeating in the different shapes. So we'll inhale our arms up overhead in 4 counts. And then we'll exhale in 4 counts to fold forward. Then you can lift your hands, bring them to your shins in a flat back in 4. And then exhale for 4, forward fold, palms to mat. Then we'll inhale for 4, step to plank. And exhale for 4, down to your belly. Inhale for 4 into cobra, lifting the chest away. And then exhale for 4, curl the toes under, lift the hips up and back for down dog. Inhale, slowly, feet to hands. Exhale, slowly, forward fold. Inhale, arms up overhead for 4. And exhale, hands to heart center in 4. All right, kind of got it? This time we're going to do everything in a breath in the count of 3. So we'll inhale, arms up overhead for 3, and then exhale, fold for 3. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale to plank. Exhale, knees down, belly down. Inhale to cobra. And exhale, down dog. Inhale, feet to hands. And exhale, fold. Inhale, arms up overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. Maybe your breath is changing a little, or you can feel your heartbeat. And we're going to speed it up. So this time everything is in 2s. We'll inhale for 2. Exhale, fold for 2. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale to plank. Exhale, knees down, belly down. Inhale to cobra. And exhale to down dog. Inhale, feet to hands. And exhale, hang. Inhale, arms up overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. All right, our last round is going to be 1 count of breath in each shape. If this doesn't sound like something you want to do, choose your own breath pattern, okay? All right. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale to plank. Exhale, knees down, belly down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, feet to hands. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms up overhead. And exhale to heart center. and pause. Maybe feel your pulse in your hands. Come to stand at the top of the mat with your feet hip distance apart. Take a big step back with your left leg. Bring your arms up overhead. Okay. Now shift that left hip forward a little bit. Take a big enough step so that when you bend your right knee, it comes into line with your ankle. Now a little bend in the left knee, and then just the left heel presses back down towards the ground. All right. Here we are in Crescent Warrior. Any arms that feel good or fun, maybe help with balance. You can have your hands on your hips. All right, I told y'all we're gonna build some heat, so we're gonna be in this shape for several breaths. Find your breath in your belly. Slow and steady. Maybe pressing your feet towards one another or away. Kind of feel some lift in the torso. Two more breaths. And then you're going to rotate that left heel down. Rotate your torso to the left. Open the arms wide, parallel to the ground, warrior two. Now maybe you want to adjust your feet. Maybe you do something different with your arms. Completely up to you. These are all suggestions. All right, so maybe again, you're pressing your heels towards one another, like you could make a wrinkle in your mat. We're going to take several strong breaths here. Shoulders down and back away from your ears. All right, big breath in. As you exhale, left hand to left thigh, right arm arcs overhead for peaceful warrior. And can take several big breaths into the right side of your ribs. Front knee is still bent, legs are strong. Another big breath in. As you exhale, right forearm comes to right thigh. Left arm reaches over the right toes. Maybe the chest rotates up a little bit towards the ceiling. Side warrior. Find your breath. If your legs are shaking, that's okay. We've got one more here. Then can push into your right foot. Come back up to warrior two. Then rotate up on those left toes. Come back to crescent. All right, here's the hard part. Are you ready? We're going to step into chair. Bam. All right. Find your chair here. Maybe lift your toes. If you want to move to eagle from here, you can do that as well. All right, we've got 3 breaths, slow and steady. Then big breath in, and as you exhale, forward fold. Let your chin tuck and your head hang. Nice work. We're going to do all of that again on the other side. So compress into your feet. Come all the way up to stand. Make sure your feet are about hip distance apart or a little wider. Right leg goes back, big step. Maybe the arms come up overhead. Deep bend in the left knee. Little bend in the right knee, and then just the right heel presses back down. All right, we're going to be here for a moment, so find your breath. Really use your legs drawn towards one another to stabilize. Two more big breaths, y'all. Then the right heel goes down. Torso opens to the right. Maybe the arms come down. Adjust your feet, adjust your hips. Find your warrior two here. Several big breaths. Then you can take a big breath in. As you exhale, right hand to the back of the right leg, left arm arcs overhead, peaceful warrior. You can breathe into the left side of your ribs. Then another big breath in. We'll rotate left forearm to left thigh. Right fingertips reaching over towards the left toes. Maybe the chest rotates towards the ceiling. I'm sorry to have my back to you so much. We've got two more breaths here. Then we're going to come back up to our warrior two. And then we're going to rotate back up on that right foot for crescent warrior. All right, you ready? Step to chair. Yeah, all right. Get settled. Find your balance in your feet. Find your breath in your belly. You can move to eagle here if you did on the other side. Two breaths. And big breath in. As you exhale, forward fold, palms to mat. Chin tucks, side out. You can step back to down dog or plank. You can roll in between the two. You can bring your knees to the mat. All right. We'll get set up for runner's lunge. For me, this means blocks and a blanket under my knees. You might want a blanket under your ankles. Take your time getting comfy. All right. So you've got your blocks or hardback books. Can bring your left foot in between your hands or blocks. Okay. Can curl your back toes under to help you balance. We're going to lift through the chest, roll shoulders back. Maybe the hands meet behind the back. Tuck your tailbone and lift your collarbones towards the sky. For 2 breaths. Then can fold towards your blocks or the floor. We'll start with a little bend in the left knee. Just a little bend, kind of bounce. And then can walk your hands or blocks back towards your body. Straighten your left leg as much as feels comfortable. And then maybe just the left toes come off the mat. And you shift your left hip back. Notice what lights up for you. For 2 breaths. Then can walk your hands or blocks back towards the top of your mat. This time a deep bend in the left knee. And notice what lights up for you on the right side. Then can spend some time walking back and forth. Maybe you find an area that needs some time or attention. Maybe you want to use this to go into half splits. Depends on your practice. Just go slow, maybe moving with breath. Another round or 2 on this side. Then can change feet however you like. Doesn't have to be pretty. Okay. Can bring your right foot to the mat. Maybe the left toes curl under. Can shrug your shoulders up and back. Maybe your hands meet. Lifting through your chest. Then big inhale, big exhale, fold towards your blocks. We'll start just with that little bounce. Little bend and straighten of the right knee. Then can walk your blocks back towards your body. Straighten your right leg and lift. Maybe lift just your right toes. Maybe shift your right hip back. For 2 breaths. Then can walk your blocks to the very top of the mat. Deep bend in the right knee. Notice what lights up for you on the left side. Then can move back and forth. Staying with any spots that need attention. It might be different on this side. Your range of motion might be different, or areas where you feel sensation. Another round or two on this side. You can set your blocks to the side. You can come to hands and knees, or plank, or down dog. And can draw your left knee over towards your left wrist. And walk your right leg long behind you. Maybe you take some support under that lifted left hip. Now maybe you stay with your hands propping you up, lifting through your chest. Maybe you fold forward over your leg, or bring your forehead to the ground. We're seeking a big stretch in the left hip. So can find what works for your pigeon today. You can also do this shape on your back with one ankle crossed over the opposite thigh. And then can hug that thigh in towards your chest. Two more breaths here. Then can walk your hands back towards your torso, curl your back toes under, and then maybe it's back to down dog or plank or hands and knees. All right, this time right knee goes towards right wrist. Left leg walks long behind you. Maybe you've got support under your right hip. Maybe you don't need it on this side. You can decide if you want your pigeon to be more of a back bend or more of a hip stretch. It can be both. We'll be here for a moment. If breathing into your belly is not possible here, can move your air to your ribs or your chest like earlier in practice. One or two more breaths. Then can curl your left toes under, walk your hands towards your body, back to down dog or plank, or hands and knees. All right, whichever shape you chose, we're going to come up to plank. Bring knees down and then belly down with the elbows close to the body. We've got a nice long Sphinx or Cobra here, your choice. You can bring your elbows or your hands to the ground, underneath your shoulders. Press the top of your feet into the mat, tuck your tailbone, and lift away from the ground through your chest. Keep the back of your neck long. In Sphinx, I like my elbows to be a little wider than shoulder distance. Or if you're in Cobra, you'd have your hands underneath your shoulders and pressing away from there. Whichever shape you chose, we've got 2 more breaths. You can press up to hands and knees. You can make your knees a little wider than hip distance. Press your hips back towards your heels. If you don't like child's pose for any reason, you can choose any resting shape. You can have your arms extended long, or you can bring them down by your calves. Let your shoulders roll towards the ground. Maybe you'd like a few more breaths here. Maybe you're ready to press back up to hands and knees. And eventually, everyone will come around to be seated. I'm going to take a blanket under my hips to help me sit upright a little easier. All right, and you will maybe want ear blocks and one of your pillows or bolsters. We are getting into the restorative part of our class. So take as much time as you want getting set up. The goal is to be comfortable and using the props to support your body while you're in the different shapes. So we'll start with bound angle. Bring both of your soles to touch. Make a diamond with your legs. Your heels can be as close or far from your body as feels comfortable. You can take blocks or anything else underneath your knees or thighs to give you a little support. You can shrug your shoulders up towards your ears and long down your back. And let your hands rest wherever they fall. Take several big breaths into your belly. Now we're going to do the opposite. Bring your hands under your knees to draw your knees skyward. And make a big V with your legs. As big as feels comfortable. And now maybe you want to hold your pillow or blanket or bolster out in front of you. You can bring your forehead to your bolster. And generally can lean forward as much as feels comfortable with support. And maybe the feet are flexed with the toes pointed towards the ceiling. If you're hinging forward, try to move with a flat back, so hinging from the hips, not collapsing through the waist. Good, and we'll spend some time here. Make adjustments at any time for comfort. We'll be here for several breaths. Coming back to your breath. If this shape feels like a good stretch, maybe you want a few more breaths here. Maybe you're ready to move on. Can place your bolster to the side. Maybe bounce your legs back in. And eventually everyone will come onto their back with their strap to start. Have both your blankets nearby. All right, hand to big toe, or some of my clients call it evil strap thing. And come onto your back, and we'll start with both knees bent. You can take a moment to get adjusted to this plane. And take the center of your strap around the sole of your left foot. Press it up towards the ceiling. Bend your left knee as much as you need to flex your foot flat. And find your breath. You could be experiencing a lot of sensation right now. Just stay with it. Going to take 3 big breaths into the backside of the left leg. If your leg is shaking like mine, that's totally fine. Reach up through the back of the left heel. All right, now maybe you want to stay here. Maybe you want to draw your leg across your body just an inch or two and take several big breaths into your left hip. You can bring your leg back to center. You can change feet however you want. I'm going to do it in the sky. Now you've got your strap around your right toes, your left foot is pressed into the mat. Reaching up through the back of the right heel, and maybe this is already a different experience. Maybe your range of motion is different or area of sensation. Take several slow breaths into the back of your right leg. And then maybe you want to draw your leg across your body just a little bit. You can take several big breaths into your right hip. Maybe you're feeling sensation down your quad or calf or even into your pinky toe. Big breaths. You can bring your leg back up towards the ceiling and slowly lower down to the ground. You can place your strap to your side and grab both your blankets or towels. This is going to take some time to set up, but it's totally worth it. You're going to make both of your towels or blankets very long and narrow, like this. And set them up at the top of your mat. Maybe they even hang off your mat a little bit. All right, nice and long, can make a stack. And then at the very edge of that stack, you're going to place the back of your hips. So start with your knees bent and your feet placed on the floor, slowly lower down onto your stack. We don't want any feelings of like pinching or fussiness in the low back. If that happens for you and it doesn't change when you adjust, can take one of your blankets or towels down, see if you still feel it when there's just one. All right, so this is a variation of fish with blanket support. Lots of different ways to do this shape, but it can be a pretty intense heart opener if you haven't tried this before. So if you have feelings of anxiety coming up, just notice that. And we're working to stretch the front pectorals and abdominals, and so I like this shape because it offers a chance of rest and release to the muscles in your back. So while we're stretching the front, the back is taking a break. Now you may choose to keep your knees bent and your feet on the mat. You can also extend one or both legs, or you can make a diamond with your legs like we did a little while ago. If any of that motion creates fussiness in the low back, just bring your feet back to the ground. Your stack should be narrow enough so it feels like your shoulders almost roll off the side. We'll be here for several breaths, so take time to get comfortable. And make adjustments at any time. Your needs might change as you settle in. Coming back to your breath. All right, now maybe this shape feels so good that you want to stay here the rest of class. That's fine. If you'd like to move to constructive rest, can roll to one side to come off your stack. Press up to be seated. Can find your stack of pillows or seat cushion that you want to throw your legs up in. Again, taking your time to be comfy. The height of your stack might differ from mine. I'm 5'4". If you're taller, you might need higher stack. If you're shorter, you might need lower stack. And I'll show you what I mean. As we bring our hips, the side of our hips, to the stack, then legs go up and into the seat of the chair or over the top of your pillows. Now here's why height is important. I want to have a 90-degree angle at my hips. And I want to have a 90-degree angle at my knees. You can take support under your neck or shoulders for comfort. And take a moment getting settled in. Check in with your breath. Do a quick body scan for any areas of holding or bracing. Offer those areas support or comfort. So in this shape with the legs completely relaxed, we're offering a time of release and rest for our hamstrings, our low back, and a big muscle in the deep abdominals called the psoas. It helps us walk, helps us ride our bike, helps us sit and stand. So taking a moment to rest it here. Make adjustments at any time for comfort. We'll be here for several breaths. Bring your attention back to your breath. Now maybe you really like this shape and you want to stay here for closing relaxation. Maybe you want to come to a different shape or just lie supine on your back. Just take a moment to choose a relaxed, comfortable shape. For closing relaxation, I'm going to quiet my voice for a few moments, and then we'll end class together. Starting now. You can take a big breath into your belly. Maybe exhale with a sigh. If that felt good, can do one more. Then can bring gentle movement to fingers and toes. Maybe this movement grows into a stretch, or you draw your knees into your belly for a hug. And then eventually can roll to one side. And take 3 to 5 slow breaths here. And can slowly press yourself up to be seated. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. I hope that you found it energizing and a good stretch. All right, see you next time.